Man, I'll tell you, I've had the worst luck today. So, while my phone's out, get fixed, I drop it off, running around trying to find a good place to cash out my check so I have the cash to pay for it. So I'm not taking a big hit in my bank account while it's trying to, go through within 48 hours. And, I'm at QT, right? The one over by your apartment. And there was a brand new 2020 convertible Lamborghini just chilling there. I was like, man, I wish I had my phone to take a picture of this. And then as I was leaving, there was a refurbished 1950 Chevy truck just chilling, rolling around. I'm like, oh, the one that I don't have to take pictures of that. Oh well. Hello. And I'm watching a Whataburger ad on your screen. Hotels has already said hello in the stream chat.
Hello everyone, welcome back. It has been a while. Live. Hype. Be wary headphone users. I think it came out okay. It wasn't any louder than the music. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and drop the music to about half volume so that we can hear Quota. Quota, go ahead and talk to me.
Hello.
There we go. Let me know how the audio balance is, guys, if you don't mind. Welcome, welcome, 7 viewers. We got Tails, we got Stamped, we got Joel. Birthday Tails, by the way. Which, yeah, I seem to recall that, yeah, hello, Vlad. That would be Tatiana right here. I seem to recall that actually for Tails' last birthday was when Quota did the little heart on the cheek of his character. So, all right. Ragnar, I haven't heard from. I'm not sure when he will be joining us. Quota is here. Seji is running a little bit late, and Tatiana is in the chat at the moment. So,
Ran.
Yeah.
You should mute yourself in the Discord because I'm hearing you twice.
Okay.
Through you on the screen.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, because you're... Okay, because with only a 3-second lag on Twitch, shouldn't be any problem then, so... I'll just switch myself to push to talk. William's got an ad break. Oof. Okay. Yeah, because really we just need the Discord for me to hear you. And it looks like Seji is in the voice chat now as well, and just has herself muted. Stant Steel redeemed Make Me Dab.
We still have 45 minutes.
No, we don't. This is our start time. 15 minutes ago. Promise. You're thinking of the time that we start for improv.
Announcement thing says 7 Central.
Does it really? Oof. Well, the one that you posted for our meetup, our little talk a couple weeks ago was 7 Central. The one that I posted today was for 6 Central. But anyway, so here we go. Let's see, so we've got everyone but...
I'll be in shortly.
Okay, sounds good. And I've got you turned all the way up so I can hear you somewhat. Well, yay, time zones. The funny thing, Legendary, is that all 4 players are in the same time zone now, so... At one time, Sage was in Eastern time, and Anave was playing in Eastern, but yeah. Quota, have you heard anything from Ragnar?
No, I have not.
Okay. Half of them are in the UK, oof. The other in California. And let me guess, you're in Eastern, Joel? All right. Yupperino. Yeah, Elbon, I didn't think of it. I didn't think of the name. Okay, let's get this stuff pulled up and get going. All the things that I didn't prep today. Noob Man. Oh man. Been a while since Arya's been here. Just wanted to say hi, have a class in 15 minutes, I'll catch the VOD later. Thanks for dropping in. Hadn't heard from you in a long time, and it's good to hear from you. All right. So, Need to delete that real quick while I'm thinking of it. Okay. That should work. Okay. You guys know what that music means. So where did all this start? I think we're going to tackle most of the recap in the actual session itself. What I will recap before we get started, though, is what happened in the immediate past, the last session that you guys had. Minfilia, the leader of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, summoned our heroes to the Waking Sands, intent on discussing urgent news. All hells broke loose, and the Scions' hideout was attacked by the Garlean Empire. Facing off against Tribunus Livius Asjunius and the legendary legatus Gaius Van Baelsar, the room was soon stained with blood. The Scions soon surrendered to prevent further bloodshed. Ida, Minfilia, and the party were captured by the Empire, and then Minfilia was separated from them soon after. You arrived at a Garlean fortress. The party was imprisoned. You learned a little bit more about Ida, now deprived of her mask. But before your conversation got too far, you were interrupted by a visitor, an Asian, and I don't have any of the...
You guys are well north of the coast, right?
Oh yeah. I checked my weather. The hurricane has 0 threat on me. My rain chance doesn't even go above 20%. So.
We had like 20 minutes of rain, that was it.
If even that. Sorry. Somebody came in at work today. One of my coworkers came in and said, "Hey, it's raining outside and Randy's got his windows down. You should..."
Category 4 hurricane is gonna hit hard. And I kind of want you guys to be safe.
Okay, look, Sage. The dryness of Texas will absolutely demolish any hurricane of any category well before it reaches Dallas. It will come through at the most as a few showers.
That might have fixed my background noise while I'm driving issue. I'm not far out.
Okay.
About 5 more minutes tops.
Okay. But this guy came in at my work today, said, "Oh, it's raining outside and Randy's windows are down. Somebody should tell him." So one of the guys goes to tell Randy, and while he's doing that, I said, "You just watch. By the time Randy gets out to his car, it will have already stopped raining." And it did. Anyway, I do not have the images close at hand for the characters, but let's see.
I didn't even know it was raining until I looked out my window today, so.
Say what?
Rain hit, I didn't even notice until I looked up out my window and I was like, oh.
Okay. So, continuing. Before your conversation got too far, you were interrupted by a visitor, an Asian who called himself Emmett Salk. And why is that not displaying? That should be showing just my monitor. Sweet. Hooray for scuffedness. Display capture. There we go. An Asian who called himself Emmett Salk. Emmett Salk seemed keenly interested in Ragnar's newfound weapon.
So that's a concert in a park, and most of the people in those clumps of people weren't doing any safety precautions.
People are stupid, yes.
I'm happy that I'm going to be in fantasy tonight and not reality.
Emmett Salk seemed keenly interested in Ragnar's newfound weapon, the Zantetsuken, and the knowledge that it was created by a mysterious process or something called Eureka. saying that he intended to locate the blade's place of origin. He then addressed the party's current state, informing them that the Ixal had successfully summoned the primal Garuda. But then Emmett Salk suddenly set the party free and then vaporized the soldiers who stood in your way. He then gave a sassy wave and sauntered off, telling you, keep up the good work. The party escaped and soon reunited with your friends, except for Minfilia, who remained missing, and Thancred, whom Y'shtola pointed out had not been heard from since before the attack, despite being absent from the Waking Sands at the time of the attack. Product placement. The party returned to the Waking Sands to survey the damage as bodies were being removed from the site. Y'shtola, Quota's favorite cat girl, asked them to help take care of the bodies at the Church of Saint Adama Landama, but said that their help would not be needed just yet. So in the meantime, the party handled a request passed to them by Tataru. As the crabs Ragnar had slain in Lenosha apparently had a patriarch, a monstrous crustacean. Oh, come on. There we go. Known as Cancer. After dispatching the beast and taking it apart, literally, Quota and Seji took one of its gargantuan claws and laid it across a still sleeping Ragnar, a surprise for when he would soon wake up. The next day, you went to the Church of Saint Adama Landama to aid with burying the bodies and so on, and it was somber and tiring work, but you did complete that.
Okay, getting in my front door. Whenever you connect, I'll be on my computer.
Okay. And then inside this church, you met an old man calling himself Mark. But before long, Alphino appeared. Announcing that he was seeking a living legend. To your surprise, he... Sorry, I just now noticed some of the chat. Emmett Salk, Emmett Smith is his son, oh god. To your surprise, Alphino turned to Mark as this living legend and called him Sid. Sid seemed to have no memory of anything that Alphino was speaking of. But Alphino insisted that they needed his help in order to get to Garuda. Sid was unsure about all of this, but gradually went along with everything that was being told to him and agreed to come with Alphino and the Scions to Joel, Tails, Make Me Dab, both redeemed fine. There you go. There you go.
What in the heck?
They both redeemed channel points.
Okay.
Anyway, so Sid decided to go along with everyone in hopes that he might be able to recover some of his past self, recover some of his memory. And oh yes, Eureka. But that was where it left off. You guys had talked with Sid, and Alphino was beginning to catch him up on the situation, searching for Sid's airship which would be needed to sail through the protective winds that surrounded Garuda's lair. So, this airship has been missing for about 5 years, and Alphino is intent on finding it. And of course, when he does, he's going to need Sid's help to repair the thing. That is where we've left off. So, Seji and Quota, or actually at the moment, just Quota. Let's see. Yeah, just Quota.
Yeah.
What is the white humanoid? Some sort of final boss or Garuda? Sorry, just looking in the players general chat from William here. William, I will see the Twitch chat much more frequently. But I assume that you mean this one? That is Garuda. Oh, sorry. Let me show it on screen. That's Garuda, yes.
I tap that.
No. Anyway.
No quota, no button here.
Yeah, that's true. I deleted it. In hopes of replacing it with something.
Make it again.
Yeah, really? Oh, Spaz is here too?
Here for real.
Hey, welcome. Glad you're here. Currently in the middle of room decorating hell, so maybe quieter than usual. That's fair. Thanks for joining us, winners.
I hear you.
All right. So, as you two are on your way back to Stamp Steel redeemed quota, yes. How do we want to get started today? Oh yeah, I burned the hell out of my hand a few days ago. There it is, yes. Let's just get it out of the way now. What?
Ouch.
Yeah.
Can you go live on Discord? The delay.
The delay's only 3 seconds, but sure, I'll try. Screen or camera? Probably screen, right?
Don't care.
All my snackos.
Okay. Whoa. Winters, thanks for the follow. I need to update that notification on this theme. It's not showing the correct animation anymore. Anyway. Just watching, there will be a treasure chest that shows up every so often. Click that for extra points. Yeah. Yeah, how do you get crowns? Basically just watching and chatting. Anyway. So, Seji, Quota, what would you guys like to do as we get started? I think you've got Alphino there. I actually think we ended the session going back to Gridania, although I'm fine with just having it, you're still at the church and deciding where to go from here. You can talk to Alphino, you can talk to Sid. A couple of the scions are there. Y'shtola is on site. And of course, Sid is completely bewildered, and he has... Sid is completely bewildered, and he doesn't really know what's going on, so he's eager to find out all that he can from Alphino. Which, if you recall, okay. Alphino's proclivity for talking, he is all too happy to give Sid the unabridged history of everything.
Perhaps we ought to just stick to what was going on with the Garland Ironworks for Sid Alphino.
Sorry, was that in character?
Yes, giving a suggestion as he's going on the unabridged history of everything. Oh, right. Yes, of course. The
coming out of Quota's ears right now, listening to it.
Say what, Quota?
I said, there's smoke coming out of my ears.
Smoke, okay.
From just listening to them because my brain is completely fried.
Okay.
And I just got back from Jane's. He is at dinner right now, so I don't know when he'll make it.
Okay. Good to know. All right, so
we knew this would be a rough episode.
Yeah, and this is just... Sorry guys, this is going to be scuffed tonight because I have still not prepped. Hardly at all. I literally just did about 15 minutes of Stream Deck prep right before we got started. So we're just literally trying to figure out what we're gonna do, but I'm sure it's okay. Sounds like me every session. Still not prepped, me every time. There you go.
But yeah, it's also, we've had a break for how many months?
Yeah. Actually, yeah. What was, let's show this on screen here. My videos. Episode 18, The Legend Returned, 5 months ago, March 15th, 2020. So yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
Where exactly did we leave our heroes other than at the church with Sid?
Where exactly what?
Did we leave everything other than at the church with Sid?
So as you guys are walking back towards the Aetheryte nearby, Alphino starts catching Sid up on things, and he starts telling Sid of your adventures recently. And he says, maybe we should just go back to the Waking Sands, or actually, no, the Waking Sands may not be very safe anymore. I mean, after all, we know the Empire knows where it is now. Maybe we should go to Mordona.
I mean, if he's Sid...
Mm-hmm. Very high.
Jesse want to see him?
Alphino just kind of blinks at you for a second, and of course he would. Sid kind of looks back and forth between Seji and Sid and Alphino, and Jesse? Who? What? But Alphino nods. He says yes, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. We should take him back to... They're all about them buttery knees. Hello, Mason. I don't get it, but okay. I'm sure it's a pun, and... Okay.
It sounds like a plan to me.
Quota, no. Actually, that reminds me of something.
Yes.
That reminds me of something, actually, guys. Give me just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Took one bad pun to take a break. Okay.
I love it. Oh, hey, our sound is still in the stream.
Uh-oh. Ugh.
And if anyone watching plays the MMO, this is based on most of us live on Bombung, or at least the Crystal Data Center.
Okay.
In
Priorities.
Shameless plug here. Welcome back.
We're talking so much shit. That better be full. That drinky drink that you shared with me.
I don't remember what drink I shared with you.
It was the one that made the milkshakes taste like cinnamon. When we went and got milkshakes that one day.
It's the rum chata.
No,
I've never had Fireball here.
I think so.
Okay, yes, that's what it is. Anyway.
That stuff was good.
So yeah, Alphino's like, this is a great idea. Great idea. I should have thought of it myself. Damn it. We should definitely go to Mordona, reintroduce him to Jesse. Couldn't hurt, right?
This is gonna be rich.
And Sid just kind of shrugs. He's well, I don't know who he is. Take me to this Jesse guy, I guess, and catch me up on everything on the way. Alphino goes, lady, Miss Jessie J, actually.
Let it be. Says he was trying to interrupt him before he spoke up, just to see what would happen.
In any case, so as you guys head towards this Aetherite and choose a point of destination, agreeing on Mordona, I suppose? Revenant's Toll?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I still figure out how to do this? It really has been a while. Hey, it's been 5 months. Let's show the cutscene again. Beautiful Revenant's Toll. Oh, it's not supposed to show that. It's supposed to show... Well, it's supposed to show on top, for one thing. In any case. Entrance, no. We'll just go back to that one. And is the audio balance still okay, or is the music too loud over me right now?
It's not loud.
Okay.
It's fun to me, bro.
Okay. I think I'm still going to turn it down a little bit just because I'm worried about being able to hear you guys over the music. Audio balance is great. Thank you, Joel. All right. So Sid looks around. He's like, whoa. Okay. This is quite a place. Certainly bigger than any of those towns near the church. And Alphino just kind of chuckles. He said, yes, Sid, almost every town is bigger than the one by the church. Maybe turn Sage and Quota up a little bit. I have them turned up to max. I literally cannot turn them up any further. I have them up at 200% and Discord up as high as it'll go. So all I can do is turn other things down.
If I put my phone to my mouth, does this work better?
That works a million times better.
This is very awkward, though.
You almost get feedback through my mic doing that too.
It's okay.
You can also just yell.
That works too.
We'll work with it.
We'll figure this out. We'll figure it out. We've got 4 hours to do. We've got 3 hours and 18 minutes to do it.
I can just randomly pop up at your place.
You can do that too, but honestly,
You can social distance with 1 or 2 people in there.
that might create more technical problems, to be honest. Because right now I'm just on headphones.
point.
You wouldn't be able to hear anything but my voice. Unless you bring your own headphones and you're plugged in listening to the stream. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you have idea how loud I can get?
Anyway,
Yes, I have a bit of experience with how loud you can get.
Oh my.
Mason, oh my, giggity. So Sid looks around. He's okay. So what's first? Mason, fine. There. I need to give them
let's
something.
Start by heading that way. As Seji is guiding us, starts guiding the group in the direction of the ironworks because she wants to see this.
Okay. One moment.
I follow.
Okay. No, don't need that. I need
to think Jesse
this.
said the transcript she let me have anyway.
Ah, yeah. I do still have your tombstone inventoried in here. It's very, very small, but it is still here. Okay.
We did spend a good bit of it.
Yes, you did. Mason found the good button. So, that one should work. So you guys step inside, and as you look towards Jessie, she glances over and surveys all of you, and she looks back down, doesn't really take much note at first, and then she kind of glances back up at Sid, and it takes a moment for the recognition to register, but then she does a double take, and Sid? And he kind of looks back and forth between everyone and looks over at her. He goes, "That's the rumor. You're Jessie, I assume?" She goes, "You assume?" She goes, she kind of stammers for a minute, not really sure what to say. She goes, I thought you were dead. Everyone did. Where, what?
When we found him, he was calling himself Mark.
He wasn't trying to... She kind of gives Sid a very critical eye for a second, and he kind of takes an unsure step back, like, what is about to happen? She goes, "You're not ducking your duties, are you, sir?" She goes, Sid says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Alphino, at this point, he goes,
We're fairly
"Look,
sure he had amnesia.
Alphino nods and says, has still, we believe. Hence him assuming that you were Jesse. We're actually pretty sure he doesn't even remember that he ever owned the Ironworks. And at this, Sid kind of stammers again, does a double takeover at Alphino, and he goes, I owned this place? Alphino once again, yes, Sid, you did. Do. Jesse goes, yes, do. You still do. You have a lot of paperwork that I've been trying to keep up with. 5 years worth of it. Sid's like, I'm out.
Says you might be casually leaning in the doorway in his way, preventing him from leaving.
Alphino just kind of says, Miss J, it's waited 5 years. I'm sure it can wait a little bit longer for him to get his bearings. She shrugs and goes, yeah, I guess you're right. It's not like he would be able to figure all this stuff out overnight anyway, even if he did remember it all. So Alphino at that point says, you might underestimate him. Jesse gives him a critical eye.
3 hours
Look,
later, he's running the place like he does own it.
Jesse gives Alphino a critical eye. She goes, look, you haven't worked with him. So Sid takes a tenuous step forward. He goes, so we were colleagues. Yes, we were colleagues, yes. Still can be if you would like to step back into that position. Sid says, I have no idea what I would do. I mean, what good would I be with a machine if I don't remember how it works? And Alphino at this point says, as I recall, it doesn't seem like you've needed to remember much. Not as far as that stuff goes anyway. The mind may not remember,
they did say
but
you're a wizard repairing all kinds of things. Perhaps it might jog your memory.
I suppose that's possible. Well, if I can be of service, I'm happy to do what I can. Jesse goes, great. I've certainly got things for you to do. Sid says, why do I have a feeling I'm gonna regret this? Alphino says, ease him in, Jesse.
Best decision of your life.
But for now, we are looking for... Damn it, Mason. Fine. But for now, we are looking for the Sid's airship that he once owned. What did he call it? Jesse rolls her eyes. The Enterprise. No offense, sir. Sid just kind of shrugs. He says, has a nice ring to me. She says, it's a bit overused. I have a feeling this will be removed soon. Maybe. I need to give you... Rather, I should give you something more interesting to use it on. More compelling than making me dab constantly. Damn it, Legendary.
I suspect you got another one coming.
There.
Something.
So confused.
He keeps redeeming channel points. Since Quota, I think you're watching on Xbox, are you seeing any chat other than the one that's right here?
No, it's basically just the basic chat.
Okay, so it's just the chat that's in the corner right here.
Channel points, 500 points to make Randab.
There you go. So, when people are redeeming those, it's not showing up in this chat right here, but it is showing up in the main chat. So, anyway. Just have rewards, channel points.
By the way, Jesse, thank you for the transcripts.
Jesse kind of stares at you blankly for a second. Oh, right. Yes, certainly.
Tombstones.
Yes, of course. I definitely remembered that, and I definitely was not just completely mind blown by the owner of this place suddenly walking in after 5 years, completely unannounced. No, not at all.
You missed him.
Say what?
Kinda sounds like you missed him.
Quota, make a perception check.
The look on your face was wonderful.
Oh God, no.
Here we go. First dice roll of the new season.
Okay, I'm positive.
For COVID?
What's a 5?
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. You don't notice anything, but she just goes, well, yeah, I mean, we definitely have missed his contributions around here. Running the company is not what I had in mind when I signed up. And I'm more than...
So it sounds like a date that y'all have to do to get him caught up so you can have fun.
Perception check.
Can I make one too?
If you want.
Do I have inspiration left?
Let me see.
I do think we all have inspiration.
I think so. Let's see. Where is my inspiration menu here? There it is. Quota, you did not have... Quota and Seji did not have inspiration. They're the only members who did not have one at the time. Because you guys have been good about using them.
Of course.
So what'd you roll, Quota?
6.
Okay, nope. But she just goes...
Plus perception, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get him caught up. Will you be staying in town, I assume?
21.
Okay, Seji, you noticed Jesse's face getting a little bit red at some of those things that Quota said. But anyway, she says, so will you be staying in town? Sid just shrugs, and Alphino says, I'll take care of it. I'll discuss with Rowena, and I'm sure we can get him put up in the inn behind Alice's bar. Okay, that seems reasonable. So, and Alphino turns to the rest of you and he says, actually, that might be a good place for us to go to just kind of sit down and kind of catch up on everything that has happened so far and see if we can figure out our next steps.
And where we go from here. I agree the Waking Sands is probably not a safe place to return to for a while.
Yeah. And at this, Sid kind of looks back and forth again. He goes, okay, I have a feeling I'm about to bite off way more than I can chew with this question, but what's the Waking Sands and why is it not safe anymore?
Let's go get a seat first. And drinks.
And Jessie kind of nods. She goes, I'll join you in a few if that's all right.
Of course.
Okay. So you guys head out and basically just go right across the street. As you saw in the main picture of, let's see, yeah, this one works. As you guys saw in the main square. So we've got Jessie out here, old picture that we had with Rowena. There's the Ironworks door, and you're basically just going right across the street to this little bar in here. And so within that bar,
as we're crossing, Seiji whistles Midori into existence.
Okay.
Which one?
The blue one.
Midori is the green one.
Blue, green, whatever,
Green,
yes.
blue.
Yes. Okay. Little quick facts on that. So, as I understand it, Seiji, please correct me if I'm wrong. Japanese does not have different words for blue and green. They use the same word, which is Midori. Which is why we have a carbuncle that we perceive as blue, which is called an emerald carbuncle. Anyway, Midori plays into that.
I'm not sure that's exactly right, but close enough.
More or
There's enough
less.
things like that I'll believe it.
Right, so. And Tatiana's AFK, okay. So you guys cross the street, and as you walk into the bar, Alphino just makes straight for the back room. Alice, the bartender, looks up, kind of waves at everyone. She notices Sid, doesn't seem to recognize him or anything, but so you've got some new friends with you, huh? Anything to drink?
Our usual things, with a couple extra cups.
Right. So she gets several varieties of tea and some ale for everybody. Gets kind of a variety of things together. And after all this time, I still never got together a picture. Milk. She was assuming ale for you. That's right, I remember now. Yeah, quota drinks milk. Let's see.
Did you really?
Did I really
Ever get a
what?
picture of the Rising Stones?
Yeah, I forgot to get one.
You had one job.
Or give me about 4 minutes.
Oh, this is hilarious. This will work. All right, so you guys end up in... Really?
Sure.
I thought we had this... There we go. Chocolate milk for quota.
Chocolate milk.
All right, so you guys end up in this little place. Similar building structure to the Waking Sands, actually, but quite a bit roomier. This is where you guys had a confidential discussion in the immediate aftermath of Emmett Salk showing up. So in this back room behind the bar...
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, that's... For those of you who aren't quite able to see it from there, we've got Thancred over here just passed out on the table. or on the verge of passing out. In any case, minus these people, this is where you guys are at anyway. And where is... No, not Ulda. Sorry, guys. No. There we go. That is also where the improv stage is. Yes, that's correct. Anyway. So as you guys settle into this roomy but kind of junked up area, it looks like it's not seen much use since it was built. Which is funny because it wasn't built all that long ago. But Sid settles into a table
like
and...
5 seconds ago.
Say what?
It got built literally 5 seconds ago.
No, but
but it is wholly a new town. So I mean, it's the town itself didn't exist 1 year ago. So, or maybe even 6 months ago. But in any case, so you guys settle in. Tatiana, Quota, Seji, Sid, Jesse, and Y'shtola. And actually not Jesse yet, but she joins after a couple of minutes. And as she walks in, Rowena comes with her. So as you guys all sit down around a large table, I hear someone hopping in. Ah, it's William. William's in the voice chat. Will I am. Hello, how you doing? Okay.
hello.
Yeah, I'm just going in between streams while eating lunch.
Gotcha. And I've got you turned up now. There we go.
Rising stones.
That works. Okay. Yeah, we'll go with that.
They are doing squats in the back.
Yeah. So you guys settle into a large table to sit down, and Sid kind of looks around at everybody and goes, okay, so what do? What do I need to do? What do I need to know? Anything? Everything? Jesse just nods, says everything. What do I need to know? Yes.
Okay, well,
Sid
you
goes,
asked
yeah, no
about
pressure.
The Waking Sands, which means an explanation of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
And I am trying
We
to...
fight primals.
There we go, that's where it is. Move that down here. Anyway. Sid
What's your face?
kind of looks confused for a second. Okay, primals. Ah, right, like Ifrit. Okay. Signs of the Seventh Dawn fights primals, and
Like Ifrit and
this
Titan.
is okay. And as I seem to have heard, the Garlean Empire also fights primals. Is this right?
Oh,
They say that's what they do.
So there's more to it, I
They tend to
guess.
scare the beast tribes, though.
And then
I mean,
said
they
tactics.
summoned theirs because they were scared.
Right, so said tactics drive the beast tribes into further fright and make them more prone to said summoning. Right. And how is your tactic different?
Yep.
We try to not conquer the beast tribes in the process of taking down their primals.
Oh, I see.
Also, I have a primal in my shield.
Sid looks at you and just kind
have
of blinks.
a part of a primal's essence in your shield.
Did you not see that expression? It was priceless. He was like, "What the fuck, bro?"
Is that in character?
You could not hear that sigh,
Yes.
Yes, it is. Okay.
but Seshi sighs and face palms.
Sid goes, okay. You're a joking type. Got it. I think I can work with you.
50-50.
Not entirely.
Say what? Not entirely what?
Not entirely joking.
Oh. Right.
As I go to an empty area and I just summon my flame shield.
Shield lob. It does a Captain America U in the open space.
I got the Human Torch flame.
You get kind of approving nods from Sid, Jesse, and Rowena. They're like, okay, very nice.
Part of the
turn it
reason we
off.
need your missing airship, Sid, is we have heard rumors that Garuda is being summoned.
Sid goes, okay. Garuda, the Ixal wind, right? Something to do with wind? And
Yeah.
and what does the Waking Sands have to do with this?
The Waking Sands is what used to be our base. We got rather raided by the Garleans, and
So they found you, and now
Well-
it's right. I can see why that would make it no longer safe. Rowena
this might seem a random question. Rowena, how the heavens did you get a castle financed?
she looked to have been kind of deep in thought
It's a
before
question
you
that's been bugging me for a
before
while.
you mentioned that, and she kind of looks at you. She goes, "Well, that's random. I mean, I don't see how that's relevant to this, but I have my ways. It's not something that I have done overnight, but well, if you really want the story, I'll tell you. But oh, forgot that that's on screen. Don't want to show my notes on screen for you guys. She goes, should we maybe figure out the more immediate concerns? Or, I mean, is this potentially something that could
It
affect
can wait. I'm
your
not
plan?
Sure. At this point, I'm not sure what would be relevant, given we're not sure how to get there to begin with.
She says, well, clearly you do need a new base. And clearly, I do have a castle. And clearly this room, this little area is in some sort of disrepair. It's a long story, so look at my cliff notes. Yeah. Clearly this area is in some sort of disrepair, which some people will definitely be getting their paychecks docked for. But since it doesn't seem to be in much use, well, maybe someone could find a use for it.
So, is it ours? Question mark?
We could certainly put it to use, but
She says, I don't know that I would say it's yours, but she said you're welcome to use it. You're welcome to rent the place, I should say. Meaning I would like it to be taken care of. I would like it to be taken care of, and you know, just clean the place up and treat it like it's your home. As far as how much, well, that's kind of what I was still thinking about. I'll figure something out.
To be fair, my home's normally being attacked by dragons.
She goes, are you, not many who are from Ishgard.
Where I'm from.
You must be from Ishgard then. In any case. So Sid looks around and he kind of breaks the silence a little bit. He says, all right, so we need to figure out sorry, I'm thinking of other things that in my head that I need to do for next week or 2 weeks from now. By the way, announcement, this is going to be bi-weekly from now on. What's up, William?
not every week. Give us all a break.
Yes. Yes, please.
We just had a 5-month break. I want every week.
If I had been doing prep every week for the last 5 months, dude, we would be doing every day.
I'd be fucking down.
No, you wouldn't. So, Sid looks around, he says, okay, so next steps though, let's say we work this out and this becomes the new, okay, I see in the chat, Tatiana's ritual casting Unseen Servant, having it clean, got it. So next steps though, assuming we work something out and this place gets cleaned up and the Scions, I think it was, end up adopting this as your base of sorts. There we go. Wrong image. What would be our next step then? We have to find that airship, don't we?
Making you remember.
Well,
do we have any idea where it might have gone down?
Alphino at that point says, making Sid remember might be a tricky proposition. We don't really know a lot about what we might do to aid in that. The other problem is Man, you really make me want to join, but I would be the most irregular member ever. I understand. He says the other problem is we don't know where the ship went down, and it was last seen 5 years ago over Coerthas, which is a rather large region, and Coerthas's climate has changed dramatically in the past 5 years due to the etheric fluctuations
So for all
in
we
the
know,
air.
it's in a snowdrift.
Very possible. But for a
Except it's
mercy,
on fire.
no. But for a mercy, Coerthas is also vigilantly watched by the Ishgardians. And if the people of Ishgard happen to have noticed it the last time it was sighted, they probably would have made a log entry. We might be able to cross-reference, find it by searching any airships sighted in the skies of Coerthas on the day of the calamity. That might give us a lead. However, there is one other thing that bothers me. And he looks over at Y'shtola, and she kind of gives a knowing nod. She says Menphilia is still missing.
Nani?
And more than that, we still have not heard from Thancred. I almost fear to say what I'm thinking.
Which one's Thancred?
That one.
Oh, he's probably drunk in the hallway.
Okay, let me dig through my other images here. 14, let's see. Thanalan, Western Thanalan, Waking Sands, Thancred. There. That one. That's Thancred.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you remember Y'shtola, though.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do. Hey, babe.
All right.
But, yeah, no, we don't know where they are. I suspect Menphilia may still be in Garlean hands, given she's... Well, they seem to know who she was.
Y'shtola kind of bites her lip a little bit, and she goes, "That's what worries me. If they know who she was, there's no telling what they'll do." She said, and right now, Thancred is what worries me most. Menphilia, I would certainly think, can fend for herself. As can Thancred. The problem is, if we haven't heard from him since before the attack, she says,
And he hasn't answered the link pro at all.
She says, I really don't want to think about it. I don't want to say this out loud.
I suspect treason.
I don't.
Y'shtola
The group doesn't
face
seem to type.
palms. Y'shtola face palms, and she goes, "Never in all my years did I think I would say this, but I kind of agree with Quota."
Oh.
But
Hey, wait.
But you're right, Seji. He doesn't seem the type. But it just has me wondering. And she turns to you, Quota. She says, "Yes?"
Me?
Yeah, you were saying, "But wait."
Oh no, I said, hey, wait, like I caught that she was being rude about it.
Oh. Yeah.
But my dad always said, you can never know a man's true heart until he's in need.
You all have been through a lot, though, haven't you?
Y'shtola says, "Well, yes. But the question remains, how did they find the Waking Sands?"
Where the blazes is he?
Could be the possibility that he got captured before. And then they just tortured him.
I shudder to think that that's the optimistic view. Let me mark that red so it's not showing up as a notification. Say what?
If only we had a tracking device.
I wonder if they're... She kind of thinks about it for a minute. She says, "Yes, that's what I'm thinking." She says, "I'm not sure if we have anything that would do that." And out of character, I am saying as the DM, I believe I previously ruled out scrying in general.
Yeah, scrying is not a thing.
So... Rowena...
Where was he supposed to be
heard of.
before all this began?
Where was he supposed to be? He was...
Yeah.
Y'shtola kind of racks her brain for a minute and she goes, "Okay, he was investigating sightings of La Habrea, the Asian, who had been sighted in several areas throughout Thanalan, which you all investigated already. Actually, I think Team 2 did some of that investigation, but
Yeah.
that was already pursued very thoroughly by Tatiana, I recall, through Little Alamigo and so on.
Where was the last place you heard from him?
At the Waking Sands. It's just that his visits were gradually becoming less frequent than before.
And really sucks I can't connect to my spirit and ask him if he knows anything.
Out of character, I'm not sure what you mean. Connect to your spirit?
Normally in most situations, the spirit realm is all-knowing and they hear rumors and stuff, so...
Yeah.
Okay, then. He says that and says, she goes, it's not like the kami. Primals operate a touch different.
At this,
Oh,
Rowena
same,
looks
yeah.
up and she says, the kami, though, would they operate that way?
That's a good thought. The lesser ones, maybe. It's been a while since I've actually thought about Ingan culture, or Doman culture for that matter.
She goes, yeah, you're not the only one. Wow.
Don't you have to have a special gift to be able to talk with them anyway?
Seshi pointedly holds up a card. You can always ask questions, but your answers are often more vague than they are useful.
Rowena says, well...
Kind of sounds like a Ouija board.
Rowena says, well, what are you waiting for? Why don't you ask then?
Sure?
Inspiration, Seji, for throwing an unknown in my face. Yeah, Seji is an astrologian, so...
ask if she knows any more on the details of the divination aspects of astromancy.
Who are you asking?
Let me see if I can find Laveva.
Oh. Okay,
I think we left her in Mordona. I don't remember where she was supposed to be.
Yeah, she is still in Mordona. So, okay, so you getting up from the table and walking off to go find her?
Yep.
Okay. So, it doesn't take you too long to find her. She's in the same room that she had been staying in, which, as I recall, you visited her in her room previously, so you shouldn't have any trouble finding that. So she looks a little bit surprised to see you. Oh, hi, Seji. How are you? Come for further instruction, or?
I actually have a few questions. We are attempting to find a comrade of ours, and if I remember correctly, astromancy has a divination aspect, and at least whether or not he's alive and well would be useful.
Right.
If that can be found through the cards or the stars or something like that. It's been a while since I've thought of the kami, but that was an idea that led me to ask you.
She says, the kami. Ah, yes, that's out of Hingan culture in the Far East, yes? Well... She says, as far as finding out whether he is alive and well, that should be fairly simple enough. And she kind of walks you through a few things that I don't really know. So, I'm just not going to pretend that I know.
Player can have fun with that. Just
Yes,
give me a minute.
player can have
Let me
fun
get
with
back to
that.
the thing.
Okay. Yeah, so she walks you through a few things, and she says, she says, this, I could do this for you, but one, obviously you should learn yourself, and two, well, you actually know this person, I assume. I don't. More than likely, anyway.
Yes, at least slightly better than just in passing.
Well, that should do it then.
Thank you.
Sure.
Are you settling in okay out here?
Oh, as well as can be expected, I guess. Once that slacker Jean Equinard comes out here, then...
Charlian, yes.
You have no idea. Everything's so new here. Everything, all
I
the
just might.
buildings are so young. She said it's so wild and just. She says yes, it's nothing like Charlayan. Everything is several thousand years old, and you know how it is.
Yes.
Shots fired.
You know, Archon loaf notwithstanding.
We'll answer that another time. Hey Alpha, we are in the middle of a session right now. Wait. I need to unmute myself in Discord to say that. Hold on. Hey Alpha, we are in the middle of a session right now. So you're welcome to stick around in here or tune in on the stream, but just make sure you stay muted in the Discord if you don't mind.
I just came because I wanted to say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, I'm gonna go now.
That
Okay.
was kind of cute.
All right. So,
Not gonna lie, all I got out of that was, and he bounced.
yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Leveda, if you are interested, there are a bunch of us in a room back behind the bar if you would care to join for some company.
She says, sure. I'll be right along. So,
Bows slightly and heads back to the group.
okay. So as you head back, you find them all just still kind of quietly talking amongst themselves. I guess Quota's probably still playing with his shield lob thing. Rowena looks up as soon as you enter and she says, so, find anything? Any out of muffins? Any information on how to find your man?
Leveda gave me some of the basics. Give me a moment with the table over here and I can give it a try.
Fair enough. So,
Right, I'm also shooting you a DM with a question real quick.
understood. Okay, I've got it pulled up. So while you were away, we were discussing next steps as far as finding Sid's airship and the observatorium in southeastern Coerthas should have the logs and records that you're looking for. So, as I seem to recall, that's where you found your astromancy friend in the first place, with the thugs that were after her and her grandfather. Or in that area, anyway. So, you should be familiar with the area, at least. Sounds like, okay, I see your question here. Let me take a look. Yes. She's just so, as far as finding the airship, I think that would be probably the best first steps for you, would be to check with the observatorium. Sage is still typing to me, so I'm trying to see what other questions she has.
Kept it to truly basic because that's really all that you really can do with that kind of thing.
I'm
Okay.
just trying to go over the fact that you're making us want to go all the way back through the snow to the freaking giant telescope.
Real quick though, Quota, let me show you. Okay.
I'm waiting.
So here's the map, right? You guys are... Mordona's labeled here, but it's really more like the area around Silver Tear Falls is the area that gets the most traffic. And Revenant's Toll is on the north side of this lake. Okay? Revenant's Toll is like right here, which is where you guys are. Coerthas is not far.
Which is where we're sitting.
Yeah. Coerthas is not far at all.
And take out the fact that we gotta go through snow.
That is true.
Yeah, we do have to go through snow because that's Coerthas.
Yep. Unfortunately.
It's the nature of the place. Seji sets up her cards at a table to one side and starts doing a couple of different spreads. Very clearly laying out cards in a specific manner before flipping them to see what they reveal. And as she draws them from her deck, there's a small spark of magic. Not much.
There you go.
Spark as in like poof, or as in...
Like the cards glow for a brief moment just as she draws them.
Oh. Okay. I'm just literally watching you spread the cards around and think you're playing solitaire or something.
It doesn't look too terribly different. And then she frowns when she's done. Okay.
Oh no, I don't like that look. Oh no.
So, good news and news. She shrugs as she makes the weird noise.
At this point, Leveva walks in, and she has a large platter with her, with a bunch of bread on it. She walks in, sets it down on the table. Y'shtola and Alphino and immediately reach forward and take a piece. They recognize what this is, and they're out of character. Why do we need to go through Coerthas? Question from Tatiana. Because that is the lead that they have on finding Sid's airship. It was last seen in the skies over Coerthas 5 years ago on the day of the calamity when you guys fought Bahamut. And that was its last sighting, and they are thinking that the people of that area, particularly at the observatorium, would have made a log of any airship that they sighted. So, looking for log entries. Anyway, they quietly, not wanting to interrupt Sage, they kind of reach forward, they take a piece of the bread, and so. But then they
Before
all...
Y'shtola takes a bite. First part of the good news is Thancred is alive.
Y'shtola bites in. She...
Not so good news. Yes, he is a captive.
By the Garlean?
I can ask. I don't know. I just asked if he was a captive. I figured keeping it fairly non-distinct would actually get me a more concrete answer. The other two things I asked were, was he in Fanlan, and did he actually betray the Waking Sands, the Garleans? And the answer is yes and no.
Leveva kind of frowns, and she gets up and walks over, takes a look at the spread. She goes, huh. It's... Oh, of course my virtual dice aren't working. I'll have to use actual real dice. My god. Pfft.
I mean, I use actual real dice.
Huh?
I mean, I use actual real dice.
Yeah. Well, and I actually, now that I'm actually at my desk instead of that table, I actually have the room for the dice now. I only used the virtual one just to save space. But anyway, so Leveva looks at it, she goes, that's very strange. She says, but then I've never asked these sorts of questions before, I suppose. But it's almost like... Well, it's like you said, it is like yes and no, or the stars themselves are unsure.
Well, it could be a possibility that he was there.
That he was there,
Yes.
what?
And no, he didn't betray us.
Oh, at Thanalan.
Different questions. I basically asked different questions in different parts of the spread to get my answers, and when I got to the part of where he is he in Fanland, is what I asked, and, well, as Seji points at the cards, the part here for that says yes, but the part right next to it here, which is part of that same answer, says no. Or at least that's what the cards are indicating in the way they're...
Boda's just staring at you with a blank look on his face, just nodding, saying, okay, yeah.
Right. Motions at Leveva. Basically what Leveva said is accurate.
I don't like that look, Rand. What'd you roll?
I rolled a natural 20. That's all you need to know.
Oh, I'm gonna die.
I don't think it's that.
No, it's there's other roleplay happening in my head, other characters thinking and doing certain things silently, and I'm having them make certain checks and so on, and one of the NPCs rolled a natural 20 on the check that they were doing. Is the nat 20 reward to say we rolled a 20? No, that was... Okay, hang on, let's see.
I can't see.
Okay, I may adjust the values on that stuff, because this was entirely speculative, and when I set those up, I was not entirely sure when or even if this campaign would start back up again. But the nat 20 crown reward it's intended to be invoked once per stream, and it turns any roll automatically into a natural 20. So it's just
Y'all, when I was rolling 5s and 6s.
In other words, though, it can only be invoked one time per stream. It's not once per person per stream, just once per stream. And costs 1,000 points. I might need to increase that. Don't know. So, like, just for S and Gs, how many points do some of you guys have here? Just so I have a feel for it. Like Legendary, this is kind of your first time watching this stream, just about. So how many do you have? Or Stamped, actually. I'm curious about Stamped as well. Okay, 300. Okay. So 1,000 is still kind of a high goal. It's not something that can... Oh, you spent 500 already. That's true. Okay.
I'm at 690 and I was reset when I started in.
Okay. Yeah, so it's not something that can be spammed. You get about 300 every 2 hours, I think. Okay. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with 1,000 being the goal for that. But yeah, once per stream, so it should be used on an important roll.
Pull the party out when a 20 or a 1 kills us.
Possibly, yes. Stamped, how many do you have?
Remember, Midori is the real warrior of light.
Yeah, really. Okay. 2,500. Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right for Stamped. The most active person in this chat during improv and everything. Where was I? Okay, yes. That person made a roll. It went well for them. Okay.
But the good news is he's alive. Unfortunately,
he's a
that
captive.
makes 2 that we need to find and rescue. Oh! Seiji starts immediately laying out more cards.
Alphino had just said "oh" at the same time, but then he pauses and looks to you curiously. You go, what have you got in mind?
When she's done, snaps her fingers. Okay.
Alphino just sits back down.
I hoped they were together. I thought I would ask. They're not.
He
But Minfilia is alive as well.
Alphino says that's what I was going to ask too, whether they were together. Minfilia being alive comes as no surprise. Although, don't suppose you could use it to find any of them. Well, if it wasn't even sure if Thancred was in Thanalan. Y'shtola says, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way, Alphino. And Leveva says, yes and no. Alphino goes, which is exactly the answer that we just got. Leveva says, yes and no, though. It could be used to find someone, not to an exact degree, more than likely, but if you were to continue asking, is he in Thanalan? Unknown. Is he in Mordona? No. Is he in the Empire? No. And so on, until you process of elimination, you could rule out a few possibilities, perhaps. But
that would be a lot of questions to ask.
And quite a good deal of ether as well. Be quite taxing. As I silence my phone.
So, you know about homeboy. Would it be a bad idea to ask about boss lady?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Was there something else that you wanted to ask about her?
I mean, there's two people we need to go rescue.
Mm-hmm.
So far, we only know that one is being held captive and is alive.
She asked if Minfilia is alive. Last she was seen, she was a captive of the Empire. And she asked if Minfilia was with Thancred. Was like being held in the same place. That was where she got a no.
Okay.
There aren't too many more things I can ask before it's gonna take a toll on me, but it still seems like Coerthas is our next best bet for action, at any rate.
Save your questions till we have a better idea of where we're going.
Pretty much.
Good point. Well.
So, the Enterprise was crash landed 5 years ago. So, shouldn't they have figured out that Card knows where they need to ask to find the whereabouts already?
That Coerthas is. Jessie just shrugs and she says, honestly, we haven't had much urgent need to search for it until this point. And we've been rather stretched thin on resources as well. We've wanted to find it, just... What about?
That's to safely assume that it's still all in one piece.
Well, Sid is.
Okay, and look how tiny he is compared to a giant airship.
Jesse at this point says, well, point taken, but it's not that giant. It has a carrying capacity of maybe a dozen people.
My riverboat at home can only carry 2 people. That's pretty big in my eyes.
Y'shtola says, well, it's smaller than a lot of the great Laminson ships, which surely you've seen by now. But in any case, yes, maybe we should go ahead and get moving towards Coerthas. I suppose I'll
make him the first snow Ifrit.
The first what?
Snow Ifrit.
Snow Ifrit. Yeah, Y'shtola kind of snickers at that. She says, I'll begin making preparations. I'll get supplies together so that we're ready to set out in the morning. And I suppose if that's all, then we might as well begin settling into our rooms. And, well, picking some rooms. And Rowena.
I'm sure Jesse has a room for Sid here.
Rowena's. Oh my god! Did you say that in character? Huh?
Yes.
Perception. Okay, and okay. So what happens is, as soon as you say that, you catch this kind of flustered look from Jesse. She tries to hide it quickly, but she's not doing a very good job of it. She turns beet red, and clearly is denying that suggestion. But it's the whole doth protest too much sort of thing. However,
towards Sedge, I go, what's wrong with her? Why'd she turn red?
However, Sid does not even notice Jesse's reaction at all.
Classic anime.
But Rowena kind of clears her throat as she stands up. She says, well, I will have some terms together for you tomorrow. Consider tonight on the house. But we'll figure something out. And I'll make sure that it's worth both of our whiles. I suppose I'll get to it then. Although, Seji, I think you still had some questions, didn't you? The castle?
Yeah, I was actually hoping for that story. It sounds different enough from the heavier things we're trying to figure out that...
She kind of... I don't know about that, but... She says, so... I guess when I was young, well, younger, in days past, there were two blacksmiths named Geralt and Riemann. They studied metallurgy under a very well-renowned blacksmith named Heidolf. Both Geralt and Riemann were quite gifted, and as word of their talent spread, Heidolf's smithy flourished. More and more people came seeking their wisdom, including me. They did great work, and Geralt was easy on the eyes. Charming, quick-witted. I liked that. Heidolf saw his smithy's reputation and celebrity grow, and he realized that long as a product carried the mark of Geralt and Riemann, it was sure to sell. So he had a little plan going. Quantity over quality. Inferior goods made by younger smiths, but bearing the marks of the masters. Quality started falling by the day. Sorry, 1 second. I'm just arranging some stuff here. Quality started falling by the day, and there were rumors and suspicions, and by this point I'd been buying goods for my employers consistently enough to know Geralt's craftsmanship when I saw it, and that shite wasn't even passable. So I looked into it. Soon I uncovered proof of Heidolf's plot, and of course I threatened to cut ties with his smithy if he wouldn't cease the deception. Heidolf couldn't afford to lose me as a client. At the time, I was working for an arms dealer with an extensive network of connections in Ul'dah. Losing me would be a devastating blow for both me and him. Well, actually, no, sorry. Haven't glanced down at the wrong time. Losing me would be a devastating blow for both him and the, shall we say, less reputable associates who were now profiting from his sham of a business. And if they were displeased, it could cost him his life. So, far as I can tell, he tried to set me up for an accident. Tried to kill me, bury me, and the truth along with me, that sort of thing. Geralt found out. He begged and pleaded for Heidolf to reconsider, return to the way things were. But to Heidolf, Geralt's pleas were just insulting. Heidolf had taught Geralt everything he knew, so how dare he, his apprentice, lecture him, right? Even though he'd been forced to rely on Geralt, I guess he figured Geralt would try and steal his smithy from him and cast him aside like a hammer no longer fit for the forge. So Heidolf decided to strike first. Problem is, his excuse me 1 second, let me get this pulled up again. Sorry, I just want to have Rowena on screen for this. Anyway, problem is, his attempt to kill Geralt
really does have a pretty model.
Yeah, was not only unsuccessful, but there was also a witness, Riemann. Riemann had suspected something was amiss with Heidolf, and now he knew for sure. But Geralt had surpassed him at every turn, and, well, Geralt had my eye. Riemann was jealous as all seven hells, wanted me all to himself. He didn't care much if something happened to Geralt, so entitled little shit monkey spoke not a word of what he saw. Geralt was cast out. Nowhere else to go, he took to the road. It was only a matter of time before I found out what happened, and so I resigned my position. I left Ul'dah in search of Geralt. But Riemann, I guess he was consumed with something maybe bearing a passing resemblance to guilt, and he abandoned his trade. With the loss of Geralt and Riemann both, Heidolf's sham of a business fell into ruin. In the end, he, sad to say, he took his own life with a dagger. The first dagger forged by Geralt long ago. Eventually I found Geralt. seemed like all of the obstacles were out of the way, and we decided to start a life together. We started traveling faraway lands, Yangsha, Hingashi, Thavnair, and in Radzatan, capital of Thavnair, we exchanged our vows. It was a beautiful wedding. And then one day, a letter came. It was Riemann. He had established himself as a black market dealer through Heidolf's old connections. And he had learned a secret about me. She kind of looks around nervously, looks at who all is here, like she's kind of taking notes of who now knows this. When I resigned my position...
Your story is safe with us.
I hope so. When I resigned my position, I stole money, lots of it, from my former employer, even from some clients, and they were gonna hold me to account. Geralt had a plan, but he didn't let me in on it. He tricked me. Tricked me into lending him an exorbitant sum under the guise of starting his own smithy. Instead, by way of Riemann, he returned this money to those I had wronged. But Riemann would only distribute the money back to those it belonged to under one condition, and Geralt agreed to it. He left me. I woke up alone the next morning. Of course, I didn't realize why Geralt had left at first. I thought he had run off on his own somewhere with all that money. Weeks turned to months, years. I was driven by my anger towards Geralt. So I went back to Ul'dah. I started trading in antiquities. Focused, determined, nothing else mattered. Started building my business, and then one day, another letter came from Riemann. He had found Geralt. She kind of looks between all of you and she goes, "From our past conversations, I gather you've found him too, in Hurst Mill. But not the man I had married." Geralt.
Kettles.
Yeah. Shadow of his former self. Broken from a life spent running, a damn drunkard, just mindlessly hammering away at stupid kettles. So, and at this point, she kind of turns and paces a little bit towards a sign that hangs on the wall, which bears the logo of her business. Which, if I can find it again. Oh, sweet. Apparently I deleted it. It's giving me a not found error, but yeah. Beneath the logo is just 4 little initials, HWHP. She says, "So, I thought back to the man with a spirit as fiery as a forge, whose weapons were as works of art, to the day when we first met, and I made him an offer." And she points at the sign. She says, "Honest work, honest pay." She says, "It's messed up, but it's hardly unique. Maybe a touch more dramatic than some, but nearly all of my employees are women with terrible pasts and terrible debt to match. I shoulder their debt in exchange for their services. Their names aren't their real names, just monikers given to them by me, all of which end in na, which marks them as indentured servants of a sort. Rowena marks them with my name. They're forbidden from using their real names under any circumstances until their debts are paid in full. Vamina, or Vamine as she was known, was no different. Remember, I asked you all to leave me and her alone to talk. Her story may not include faraway lands and dream weddings, but it was no less sordid. But she's safe from that now. Her debts are paid. And now she's just working off her debt to me. And this ain't a lifetime indenturement, if that's what you're wondering. She'll get there. She gets paid in script. It's good all over this town, but only in this town. And she pays back some of that to me every month. It'll take her a few years, but if she keeps doing well and she's responsible, she'll get there. And if she wants to keep working here after that, that'll be up to her, and then she'll be paid in gil. But I trade in antiquities, and I'm good at it. I have an eye for the treasure and the things that people just see as antiques. Say again?
That explains how you're able to finance a castle.
She says, truth be told, I probably could buy my way into a seat on Uldah's syndicate. But, eh.
That's impressive.
I'm just over here trying to think what Coerthas would be doing.
She goes, so.
Possibly blinking.
So, that story better be safe with all of you.
What story?
Exactly.
Wink, wink.
She walks over to you and puts a hand on your shoulder, Quota, and it's surprisingly strong, and she's gripping your shoulder with a surprising strength. And she goes, exactly.
Ow, ow, ow.
She lets go, steps away. In any case, seeing the potential for profit in all kinds of things. Which
I can see why you might not tell that story to everyone, but
no kidding, you think?
Definitely you built yourself from nothing.
And that's what I teach everyone who works for me. How to do exactly the same thing. Truth be told, I want to be the richest woman on Hydaelyn, and then I want someone who used to work for me to surpass me. That's what I want. Speaking of seeing the potential for profit,
what all masters want from their servants?
I suppose you could put it that way. Speaking of potential for profit, Leveva, I'd like to have some discussions with you at some point. Leveva goes, oh boy. She goes, just over tea sometime tomorrow if you want. Just some ideas, wanted to run by you, see what you think. And she kind of winks and says, in any case, unless there's anything else from all of you, or, well, I don't know. I think I'm gonna call it a night.
Thank you for your story. Remind me sometime to send you some tea. I happen to know some you might appreciate.
This gets a raised eyebrow from her. What sort of tea are you thinking of? Or is it a surprise? I can deal with surprises.
I might make it a surprise. It's from somewhere you've traveled. You did mention it in your story.
I figured as much. Either Thavnarian or Yanshan. Something from there, I suppose.
Something a bit unique as well.
Well, sounds practically like everything that I trade in.
Like I said, you'll probably like it. I just need to figure out how to get my own hands on it again.
All right. And knowing that you have traveled to some of the same places that she has, she knows you'll catch this reference, and so she kind of flicks the Namazu earring on her ear, and she goes, "Yes, yes." And she turns and walks away.
Says he promptly chuckles.
I'll zoom in a little bit closer on that for viewers at home. That little earring right there. Anyway.
Is that supposed to represent a person?
It's here, let me get a better picture of it for you.
Of sorts.
Oh my god, no. If they... Okay, no, they haven't really. I googled Namazu earring, and I got pictures that at first...
That does look realistic, doesn't it?
At first, I thought they had made like some actual fan merchandise of it. Here you go.
I would not be surprised if they had.
Now I kind of would like for that to happen. But yeah, that's a Namazu. Elbon got to see one up close very recently, since I have the Namazu avatar and I pulled it out during improv last night.
Oh my.
No. Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. The characters were hallucinating, so I decided
Yes,
it would
yes.
be perfect for them to hallucinate seeing a Namazu.
Oh god, that's terrifying.
I'm really not sure what to think of this one. But yeah. Yes, yes, yes. All right, so what's next, guys? Oh, and before
Too late for us to actually go.
before Rowena actually leaves, though, she reaches out for some of that bread that Leveva brought in. She tries a piece. And what were you gonna say, William?
Assuming it's too late to actually go to Coralon.
Coerthas? For tonight, yes.
Yes.
Tonight in character, yes. But yeah, we can, once you guys go to bed, skip to the next morning, yeah, you can absolutely do that. Seji and Tatiana and Quota, perception checks as Rowena grabs this piece of bread. Get that bread. 12?
I know what Seiji is expecting to see, and I got a 16.
Okay. Quota?
That was 12.
12. Okay. So, yeah, so you guys all notice that Yeshtola and Leveva. Are there any other Charlayans in there? And Alphino. All three of them kind of look up at Rowena in horror as she raises this bread to her mouth and takes a bite. Let's just say 13. Okay, yeah, it's enough to notice.
Smirking.
Rowena starts coughing and covers her mouth, and she tries to not spit out the bread, and she's like, what is this? And she just runs out of the room. If anyone happens to follow her, you'll find her in the bar just in front, just guzzling the nearest thing that she can possibly find.
Says she follows, actually laughing softly.
Rowena turns to you. She goes, "People eat that
Maybe
stuff?"
One of us should have warned you.
She goes, "People eat that stuff?"
It's a Charlayan specialty.
If I didn't know better, I would have said someone was trying to poison me.
It is everything the body needs. Except for taste.
I think my body can do without, thanks. And she just drops it straight into the trash can. She goes, I do
not blame you.
She goes, I would toss it out for the birds, but I think the birds would turn their noses up at it. Anyway.
Beaks. Oda, being curious, wants to try the bread.
Okay. You get a similar reaction to what just happened to Rowena as these characters all kind of look up at you like, oh boy. And Alphino finally does manage, just before you raise it to your mouth, to go, just be ready for the taste. So you try it?
Okay.
Okay.
Bite. Yep.
It is the most sour, nasty thing that you have ever tasted. Yeah, Constitution check.
God, no.
It tastes fishy. Bread should not taste fishy. It's even a little bit gooey.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. Yeah, you managed to not do what Rowena just did. But and partly because you were expecting it. She was expecting something much better tasting. But yeah.
It looks much better tasting.
Yeah, it looks like it tastes better than it actually does. It probably even smells much better, but yeah, it's nasty.
I finish it.
So I just saw Sage's DMs.
Especially to rob the quarter time to see him take a bite.
Yeah, you do. You do. And say that again, Quota.
I finished the bread I picked up.
As he eats more of it, softly, I am impressed. It's usually more of an acquired taste.
And I love Tatiana just suddenly.
And takes a bite. The others, I'm not sure, have any idea.
So Tatiana just cast prestidigitation on a piece of bread to change its taste and then eat it herself. Perfect. Tatiana, it tastes wonderful.
And then Quota crabs. And then one she didn't touch down her throat.
Quota grabs what?
A piece of bread she didn't touch and jam it down her throat.
That's PvP. So, question is, Tatiana, are you resisting that? Yes, 1 second while I roll.
Do.
And suddenly a fight breaks out. 15. What?
That's my stream.
Let's see. What were you rolling?
Okay, I have my stream.
Okay. Dex to avoid him putting his hands against my mouth. Okay.
Does it smell like chloroform to you? Hold on, I need a roll.
I'm gonna say Tatiana manages to avoid your the advance of your hands with that bread.
Well, that was rude. They went out of their way to make this bread.
I mean, it is an acquired taste, as Seji starts nibbling on a
And
piece.
it is not
Leveva
nice to change the flavor.
says, no, Quota, actually it is. It's a great idea to change the flavor. I am not offended in the least. They're admitting it tastes terrible themselves. What's the matter? And she says, look, I readily admit, no bread should taste like fish paste. It's like Seji said, it's everything the body
Tomato.
needs
Or
except
depending on
taste.
who makes it, onion.
Ugh.
It still tastes better than spicy garlic.
Look, I
She
remember
reaches
one
out
person
and
who
she takes a nibble of the bread and she goes, I think there's a bit of that in here too.
I'll still take the fish paste.
What's so bad about spicy garlic?
Strong specialty from where I'm from, man. That's why I'm always ecstatic to try something new.
She goes, in any case, I am not the least bit offended by Tatiana changing the taste. It's fine. It's great. It's a good idea.
We should cram this in Ragnar's pouch. Who's still asleep, by the way.
Leveva shrugs and she goes, feel free. She says, honestly, she says, you know,
Honey?
it's not, you know, obviously lacking the taste. Aside from that, it's not bad for road rations. She goes, I'll make you as much as you like.
No, it's not. What were you asking? I'm sorry, I missed your question, Quota.
We are gonna give this to Ragnar.
Oh. Yes.
Stuff it in his
Yes,
pack.
we are.
What do we get? He's gonna eat this. And not sissy out like Tatiana. Chicken.
Honestly, her idea is a good one. I wish I'd thought of it when I'd
I
first read the
enjoyed the
stuff.
flavor.
At this point, hang on.
But I understood the texture.
Leveva calls bullshit. She goes, you did not. She goes, you did not appreciate that flavor. There is no appreciating that flavor.
Bet.
Huh?
Said bet.
I have an analogy popping into my head, but it's more IRL and it wouldn't be appropriate in FF14. But I'm wanting her to say it's like eating a Hot Pocket and saying, I'm glad I ate that. No, you eat it and you're like, I'm gonna die. You can't possibly appreciate the flavor of Archon loaf.
I appreciate it.
You can appreciate the flavor of a Hot Pocket, but point made. It's
yes,
fishy
that is
and
true.
meaty and sweet. And is that tomato?
I don't know if there's any
Loki,
sweet
all
to
this
it.
is tuna fish bread.
Tuna fish bread might not be as bad.
Y'shtola
Eating it.
pointedly stands up from her seat,
Okay.
pushing her chair back, and she goes, any road? Aside from debating the qualities of Charlayan cuisine, I think we're done for tonight. And she walks away from the table and heads to her room.
I get all sad.
She goes, feel free to continue debating. I just will be busying myself in other ways. Okay, so are we ready to fast forward to the next day?
Yep, Sage spends part of her night studying Allegan, effectively,
Gotcha.
and sticking some of the leftover Archon loaf in her bag to give to Ragnar. Because she liked that idea.
Okay. All right. So the next morning, by the time you guys are getting up and, out and about, ready to get on with the day, Leveva brings you a fresh batch of Archon loaf. So instead of just stuffing the remainder of it in, now you've got a whole other loaf for rations. Not that I've really made you guys worry about rations anyway, but it's there. If you happen across someone who's starving, now you're set.
It's there for color.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure
I'm
it
not
has
sure
any.
anyone who's starving would want to eat it, but
Alright.
No, I'm good. I'll just die. Oh, I'm starving, but there's this Archon loaf here. Guess I'll die.
Aid.
Say what? Casting aid? Who we casting it on?
There's only 3 of us here, so.
Oh, right. Okay, let me make sure this still works. +3. Damn it, it doesn't. Aid and mage armor. Okay. We're just going to assume that we've got the +5 there. And let me just remove Ragnar's bar from the screen. There we go. Yeah, it's not there, William, but I'm just saying because the interface on my stream deck that changes the hit points is not working. So we're just going to assume you've got +5. So I'll make sure and fix that within the next 2 weeks.
We'll have the Dropbox link, I think.
I think the Dropbox link might only... Oh, yeah. That would work. The Dropbox link might only be for their max HP, though. I don't remember. Anyway.
You left the first part blank.
Yeah, because the first part is the current HP. Yeah.
Whoa. Why am I +5?
Because you got aid cast on you.
Oh, yeah. William gave me AIDS. Got it.
All right. Anything else for the evening before, or for the morning before you guys set out, or are you heading straight for Coerthas? Any more business in Revenant's Toll? We've got Leveva, we've got Jesse, we've got Rowena, we've got Sid. You got your winter gear. I'm going to assume you have winter gear, so I'm not gonna.
Too hot for winter gear.
It won't be very soon.
Which way did Ishtala go?
In the morning? In the morning, she has been kind of busying herself about the new base, and she's you guys are moving into it way early, but that's okay. She's busying herself about the place, and she's kind of getting it set up for so that it looks a little bit more like the Scions of the Seventh Dawn are there. So she's basically just kind of setting up around the place, and she got everyone's traveling packs ready in the morning before you guys set out, so.
I go to her before we leave.
Okay.
And I basically just tell her to worry not. I will do my best to bring them home.
She says, thank you. That's all any of us can do, right? Oh my god, Quota, I just saw your DM. Anyway.
And then as I'm heading out, I go, even if it kills me, I'll make sure they come home.
She says, just make sure it doesn't kill you. There's been too much of that already. But I understand the sentiment. Thank you.
Let's skedaddle.
Yes.
I would go to Sid really quickly and see if he knows how to recover it if we find it.
He says that'll really be.
Scatterbrain Skid's gonna know everything.
He says that'll be down to the condition that it's in when we find it. Yes, Legendary, he does. He says that'll be down to the condition that it's in when it's found. He said I'll come with you when we have some idea of where it might be. He says for now, just looking for the logs and everything. Maybe that can give us a better idea of the location we're going for, and that might then give us some idea what condition it would be in and what might be required. For now, we just need to know where it went down.
Is there a teleport crystal?
At the observatorium? There is not.
Oh. Okay.
It's
well,
just a long walk through the snow.
Are you? Hang on.
Makes a point to wear a coat.
William, are you just asking that out of character, or are you asking someone that in character? And if so, who are you
Out of
asking?
character, because I would have known it from our
Gotcha.
time there.
Gotcha. Yeah, because you had been there before. Let's see here. Hang on just a second. I'm thinking Pathfinder here for a second. I'm wanting to ask for a local knowledge check from Seji. What's the equivalent there?
History.
History? History would be local knowledge?
Equivalent to.
They cut
Well-
down a whole lot of the skills in the lore.
Well, local knowledge could be a history check with advantage. Since it's local knowledge.
I mean, I'll take history. It's one of my experts.
I was gonna say, yeah, your history modifier is
Oh, you're
probably
an
like
expert
plus
now.
17 or something, so. Yeah, go for it. Roll history, Seji.
Natural 20 every time.
Not 17, but 7's not wrong.
Okay.
And I rolled an 8, so that's
15?
15?
Okay. Yeah, so with that, you are able to recall that there is not an aetherite at the observatorium, but there is one not too far away to the north. So.
There is an aetherite north of it. I believe the place is Camp Dragonhead, but I do think I remember Chocobo quarters.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Those are a thing. Yeah, you can totally just rent a
About
chocobo.
Chocobros?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
rent one.
Is it the same guy I apologized to, even though
No.
he didn't recognize me since the body change?
No. No, that guy works and lives in
Okay.
Gridania. He's quite a fair distance away.
I'm just following Seji's lead, so.
Okay.
Or Tatiana, they're the smart ones out of the group.
We did pass through the observatorium once before, didn't we? Or
Uh,
did we just cut through part of Coerthas?
no,
I
you did
think
go
we went
into.
to the observatorium, but we didn't go to the camp.
Correct. Yeah, you only went into Coerthas as far as the observatorium, but yeah. Katie. Nice. Do I have the map? No. At least not there. Let's see, I'll bet it's here. Nope.
I can dig it out of my screenshots if you need a picture of the observatorium. Actually, I have a new one for you anyway.
Yeah, I've seen that. Let's see.
I mean,
I
like
was
became a
well.
thing, so
I
have a
what I
much
was
better
looking
picture of it.
for was my there it is. Damn it! Nope. I was looking for my actual map of Coerthas Central Highlands, but here, let's see locations. Nope. Go figure. It's not in locations.
There's Dragonhead and the observatorium.
Okay.
Can't help you with the map, but I can help with that.
I had repeated dumb moments on my Viera alt regarding Idleshire specifically. Never had that problem to that degree with any other place. Nice.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Yeah, those are good shots. Those will work. Boom. Okay. once it finally comes up. There we go. So,
Hey,
yeah.
Just a heads up, the second round of storms are about to hit. They're literally probably about 5 minutes out.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just out to let my dog go.
Gotcha.
All pretty lights.
Let's see. Extreme danger, 150 mile an hour winds. Okay, but just not here. Let's see.
Like I said,
15%.
How far are you from the coast?
15% chance of rain. I'm a good
From the
6 hour
coast,
drive
we're
from
about
the coast.
3 hours.
That's if you're speeding like crazy.
No, it depends on which way you go.
Okay, so far enough-ish.
Yes.
Try to hunker down over the next couple days,
I
though.
promise you, the dryness of the hundreds of miles between here and the coast will absolutely smash any very, very dangerous storms. We will get ordinary rain. That's all we will get where I am. I promise. And I'm showing only like a 15 to 20% chance of that.
Yes, I will worry.
So we will be fine.
Rabble, category 4 hurricane.
Yeah. This is not the first time that a category 4 or 5 has smashed into that specific part of the Texas coast. Didn't affect us up here before. We just got like a little ordinary shower.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was the one that just absolutely smashed up Houston back in the day too. So yeah, we'll be okay.
I mean, we're only 4 hours from Houston, so the most we're gonna get is just a thunderstorm anyways, because we're more centered than land.
I don't know why it's taking so long for it to kick up the image every time I switch this. That's weird. Anyway.
What black imagery is this?
Oh, now see, this one is just because the photos thing is being stupid. But,
Messed up.
yeah. There we go. All right, so this is kind of what you guys are trudging through as you head out of Mordona up to the north. But yeah, soon enough, you've made it through this path before. You've made it to this place before. Yeah, photos in Windows 10 is awful, Katie. You are absolutely right. Half the time it just kicks up a black screen. And so you make it here to the observatorium, which, as you can see right up there at the top of the tower, is literally, yeah, it's stargazing.
A giant telescope.
Yep.
I forgot they had patches of stuff they were growing. You can see it there.
Yeah. Yeah, they managed to accidentally grow something in Coerthas. My goodness. Anyway.
Do you believe in magic?
Pretty much.
So, you guys approach, and there's a couple of guards at the gate on each side of the settlement. Couple standing about, and there's some people just kind of walking back and forth between some of the different buildings and so on, just going about their business. Some of them not really dressed for the cold. Seems pretty clear that they just spend as much time indoors as they can and dart out to go to the next building and back into warmer air. And then you've got the observatorium tower. You see the telescope up at the top, and you can see in through the large windows on the sides of the building. It seems to also house a library of some sort.
Cool.
So what would you guys like to do?
I'm letting the girls take the lead on this one. You know, they're smart.
We need to keep you around anyway. You're not book smart, but
What do you mean around? You calling me fat?
I will at this point remind you that he was able to recognize Nimian language on some ruins in
I
Lenosha.
did?
Yes, you did. Just after
Fair
your
enough.
memory came back, right after you had been changed.
or at least you weren't, so that might be different now. So she starts heading toward the big tall building where all of the books were kept the last time we were here.
Okay. Katie, I'd like to not
Trust
climb
me to
that
remember where
tower.
the books were.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
I look for someone in charge that
You cut out at the end there,
might know
Quota.
where the sighting log is.
When you ask someone about that, they just kind of point to the tower, and you turn and look, and you see Seji and Tatiana already headed that way.
I meant when we get into the tower.
Oh, okay.
They said they were going to go to the book.
Okay,
I was going to ask if there was a specific area where they could be easier found.
gotcha. So inside the tower, you find a large spiral staircase that takes up the entire outer ring. And so there's bookshelves along the spiral stairway, and some in the middle, in kind of the ring that is formed by the tower. A lot of the staff seems to be on the second, third, and fourth floors. The first floor is almost empty. But yeah, as you ask somebody about that, they say, well, that's what everything in this tower is. It's all records of what we've seen from the stars for logging the movements of dragons and other unusual omens. That's what all of this is. Is there a specific date range that you're looking for, or a specific area of geographically?
From about 5 years ago, we're trying to find an airship that probably passed through here.
About 5 years ago, so right about the time of the calamity.
Yeah.
Or
yes.
Yes, actually. If you have records from around those days.
certainly, there's there's a
And
lot.
immediately after.
There is a lot from that time range. Now, immediately after, a little bit muddied, but should be able to find you something at least. So he leads you up a couple more flights of stairs and starts digging through some of the records. Starts digging through some of the records, and he's
what we were looking for was last seen the day of.
he goes, "Aha! The day of
We're
the
hoping
calamity."
You all saw something around then.
He kind of thinks for a moment, and he goes, "An airship, you say?"
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
The stream cut out?
No,
Oh.
we're still streaming. He says, I think I remember seeing it. Yeah, give me just one moment. He goes right to it. He pulls out about 3 books, and he sets a couple of them on the table. He starts thumbing through one of them, sets it down, starts thumbing through another. Here we go. And he points to the log and kind of runs through what each part of it means. He says, this tells me where it was sighted from, where it was coming from, where it was heading to, and of course the exact date and time. And other things that were other phenomena at that moment, what stars were near it, and so on in the sky. So, from what this is showing me, he says it looks like it was headed northwest. Let's see, which that means maybe we still have some records recovered from. He kind of goes through some more books. He goes and grabs a couple more, pulls one out. And you notice that on the spine of this latest book that he's pulled out, it has a date, and it says, go ahead. William?
So I asked to see the log that specifically talks about the airship coming through.
Yeah, he left that on the table, so it's just left open, and he's going through another book looking for something that he thinks that log is referencing. So on the spine of this latest book that he's pulled out, you notice that it says a date, which you would recognize as the date of the calamity. And it says Stone Vigil Observations. He goes through it and he goes, damn, okay. Maybe it wasn't on that particular day. Maybe it would have taken a bit longer, gone to the next day. Pulls out another book. Ah, here it is. Good Lord, can you guys hear that? It ain't thunder, it's my neighbor. Anyway.
What?
I deadass thought you were talking about my crunching of the tuna fish and chips.
Sorry, what?
No.
No, there's a rumble through the stream.
Yes. Yeah, like someone slamming doors, I guess. Someone's having a fight. Or they're hammering pictures on the wall. I'm gonna stop.
Sounds like they're being possessed.
I'm stopping the music. Jeez. Anyway. He goes, okay. So
I take the info from the first book.
Actually, let's go with this one. Go ahead, William.
And I use it to try to calculate the vector, and use that to try to figure out where it landed.
Okay. So he already said it was heading northwest. And as far as where it landed, that is what he is currently working on. That delay is pretty long? Okay. Quota's delay earlier was only like 3 seconds. I guess you're having a longer one. Well, your stream's cut out a few times, right? So, okay. So I guess William's just not having as good luck with the internet. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
Okay. I'll tell you what, actually, you guys might want to mute the stream and unmute Discord. And maybe it would be better if we use it through that. You just wouldn't be hearing the music. But that would be less of a delay. I don't know. Just up to you guys, though. Maybe we can do that. I think you have a 10-second delay.
Me.
Okay.
I mean, either way, it comes to me at Clay Cooley.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I will unmute myself in Discord.
I'm not hearing you now, Rand.
I am unmuting myself in Discord and I'm on voice activity. If you don't want to hear me in Discord, then just right click me and mute me. You should be able to just have me on mute. Yeah, Twitch delay is bad. That's why I liked Mixer. Less than 1 second delay. It was so awesome. But anyway. What was I gonna say? Right, so Stone Vigil observations is what the book says. And he, on the date of the calamity itself, he didn't find anything. He went to the next day and he found it. He goes, okay, we've got a sighting from the Stone Vigil, and they saw it go down. So we have a location. And it looks like it went down just outside of the Stone Vigil's northwestern wall. Or possibly on it.
Now, how far is that?
The Stone Vigil.
Have I in character heard of Stone Vigil before?
History check.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll 1, 2.
And feel free to roll as well, William.
That would be a natural 1, so 8.
Okay.
That'd be a 15.
One time I roll poorly.
The one time I rolled decently.
I'll take it.
William, are you making a roll or no?
I'm rolling Discord dice.
Oh, okay. $15. Okay. Yeah, so you guys have heard of the Stone Vigil, and you just know that it is something that it's one of the Ishgardian defenses against the dragons. It's sort of a small fortress. Actually, maybe medium-sized fortress.
What is their relation with Garlean?
None.
Oh, the Ishgardians don't get along with the Garleans at all.
No.
So the girl doesn't get along with anybody at all?
Not that we've met.
That means there's a good chance that we can still recover the bullshit.
I mean, on or behind a guarded wall, we'll see.
He says the only problem with that is that the Stone Vigil was overrun by the dragons about a year and a half ago. So we've had to abandon it. If
Okay.
you wish to retrieve this airship, you're, of course, welcome to attempt to raid the place, but just know what you would be up against.
We'll
How
keep
many
that in
dragons are we
mind.
talking?
You both were talking over each other.
You first.
How many dragons are we talking?
Weary Katie just answered it pretty well. Many Dargans. We're not talking like massive, full adult-sized, full-grown dragons like you would typically think of when you just hear the word dragon. We're talking a lot of smaller ones.
So we're talking like wormlings in D&D terms?
I'm sorry?
We're talking like wormlings in D&D terms?
Let me look that up real quick. Yeah, that's probably about the biggest size that you would find there.
Sorry, I missed that. What?
William was asking if we're talking about, as far as size, if we would be talking about wormlings in D&D terms. And I said, yes, that's probably about the biggest size that you would find there.
Okay.
Do we know if they all breathe a specific kind of dragon breath?
We do not. We know that it hurts. I suppose that's probably not very helpful, though.
Now, do you have an estimated number how many it possibly could be?
He says not recent, not close at hand anyway. Camp Dragonhead might have some estimates, and out of character Sage, I forget the other camp that's closest to Stone Vigil.
White Brim.
Camp White what?
White Brim.
White Brim.
Oh, you said Whiterun.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Start the Dovahkiin music. He said Camp Dragonhead and Camp White Brim might have more reasonably accurate numbers. Especially White Brim, they would be keeping a close eye on it, since it would be the closest holding that the dragons have to the city of Ishgard itself.
Do we know what type of dragons they are?
Not enormous, but not terribly tiny. Well, actually, yeah, they are, some of them really tiny. But as far as like what color dragons and stuff, the D&D color dragon thing doesn't really apply here. So the closest match to it, that which William was asking just a moment ago, was what type of breath weapon do they have? And I would say it's a variety.
Think like wyverns, basilisks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
From my background, coming from the area of
Dravania.
Dragonville,
Oh,
yeah.
you'd know.
Would I know the best course of action on how to take it? Or would I know someone who could help guide us through undetected or something like that?
No, you would be that one who would help guide them through undetected. That would be you.
Fuck.
Nothing that this guy is describing in all accounts of Stone Vigil being taken over. None of the things that he has described sound like anything you haven't fought before. It's just a question of
How many?
yeah, you know, have they started nesting there and, you know, really multiplying and, you know, that sort of thing.
And the reports from a year ago or whatever, how many did they claim to see that day? Or when they looked?
Because the observatorium is more concerned with observations of the stars and things like that, he doesn't have those kind of numbers for you. He says, but it's a fortress, it's a military installation, and they had to abandon it, if that tells you anything.
It's a bunch of pretty much baby Brachiosaurus Rexes.
Brachiosaurus Rex.
I want to say probably the best bet is that it is a high chance it's going to be a nesting ground. Especially if they evacuated. Therefore, it was a territorial takeover for because of how secluded and since it was a fortress. At least that'd be my guess.
Are they intelligent enough to be able to be talked with?
Yes. He says, not that many people would try, but he says there are reports of some heretics who have consorted with the dragons and fallen in league with them. He says, I would caution you against this, as it could get you branded a heretic by Ishgard.
If only we had a dragon lady here with us.
Wrong species.
Take it back.
Say what?
But I won't object to that. I much prefer that to lizard.
Mm.
Let me call
Oh,
Dende
that's a
the
nice
dragon
screenshot
right quick.
folder. You are still streaming your screen.
Am I? Oh, well, yeah, in Discord, but not on the stream.
I could probably get you a picture of Stone Vigil or White Brim. Is that what you need?
Yeah, might as well get White Brim.
Get you a picture of Whiterun.
That's okay.
Oh, hey, there's the map.
Oh, yeah. White Brim front. White Brim back. Don't know what's up with all that. Yeah, a picture of White Brim would be good, since I'm not seeing any good ones here. But anyway. But yeah, you guys are still at the observatorium, which is on the other side of the Coerthas Central Highlands. White Brim side. Let's see. Coerthas Central Highlands map. How about one that's not ridiculously small?
What she said. Got him, coach.
So you need a Coerthas overhead map.
Yes. You know what? I'm pulling it straight out of the assets.
Go lay down.
Because I can do that.
I was gonna say I'm in game and I'm zooming in on my screen, so.
Ah. There we go.
That is better than mine.
Ah.
Sent it to you in DMs anyway.
Okay. Sorry, viewers. We're trying to get this together here. Just because I accidentally closed the thing. There we go. Okay, so here's the observatorium. You guys just came from down here. The left red arrow goes towards Mordona. So, up this way is Camp Dragonhead, where there is an Aetherite. This red arrow leads towards the main city of Ishgard. The gate there is closed. Here's Whitebrim Front. And up north of that is Stone Vigil. So, from here all the way up to here is where you're looking at going. Makes sense?
Alright.
I say it wouldn't hurt to scout it out.
He,
Is there anyone we could talk to that might have an in or have better information for us that wouldn't be opposed to a band of not native bornish guardians going into one of their places?
okay, so I have 3 DMs. My father, who's called more dragons than even I have. Okay. Yes, quota scouting would be a good idea. And Seji, to answer your question, I'm going to answer this a little bit out of character. As a player, you know that in the game, they are very, very closed off and they're distrustful of everyone. I'm not going to carry that through into this campaign because that creates this huge chain of side quests just to get them to allow you into the Stone Vigil, which doesn't make sense. This is a place that would like to get their military installation back. If some crazy damn fool band of adventurers wants to throw their lives at it, then, you know, sure, they're not going to stop you. So that in mind, the answer that he gives you is, well, you're free to inquire at Camp Dragonhead and at Whitebrim Front, but they're certainly going to have the most up-to-date information, as well as Katie. Just go up there and hug them. They're going to have the most up-to-date information, and because of the Stone Vigil's proximity to Ishgard, there will be scouts over that area regularly. So they should be able to give you the most up-to-date movement, the most up-to-date information on numbers and movements and so on. Now, of course, I assure you they would like to get the Stone Vigil back, but I know that's a bit of an ask. Bit of a tall order. So what are we thinking, guys?
Asking at White Rim is a good idea, but I think stopping at Dragonhead is a good idea too, if only because it covers all of our bases and we get all the information we can before we dive in. Also, there's an Aetherite at Dragonhead, and it's useful to collect those. Otherwise, I would just suggest going to White Brim right off.
The attendant kind of shrugs. He says, Camp Dragonhead's literally on the way.
You know, I forgot he was still here.
So White Brim via Dragonhead?
He says, that's what I would do if I were looking to throw my life into a meat grinder of dragons and jump off this mortal coil early. But that's just me. There's a reason I'm a astrologian at the Observatorium rather than a soldier on the front. Katie, was that in reference to the Ishgardians? Or the dragons? Bueller? Anybody?
I hear you.
Ishgardians at first, but now that you mention it...
Let's go ahead and get that.
Okay, so... heading for, let's see. Oh my gosh, come on, OBS. Dun, 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 dun. Seriously?
Da 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 da.
There. And the weird thing is, it was picking up my mouse, just not the windows. Anyway, and it was on display capture. Anyway, so leaving the observatorium and heading north towards Dragonhead.
Is the observatorium or the Dragonhead more likely to have magical items that'll be able to help us against dragons?
No. Take it down. Dog.
Oh gosh, come on. Dragonhead, being the place with the Aetherite, would be the most major settlement in the area.
Oh, thank you. All right. To the Aetherite.
Okay.
To Camp Dragonhead.
All right, so heading north out of the observatorium, crossing this area of just snowfields, snowdrifts, and hobbit holes, basically. Some small buildings built into the side of the hills. There's a few beasts and stuff crossing the area, but nothing that's terribly troublesome. It takes you about 20 minutes to make it to Dragonhead. Which, when you get there...
We're covered in snow.
Here's Camp Dragonhead. Go ahead and bring that up large on screen. Okay, so you guys are coming in this south entrance down here. And as you can see, it's got some taller walls, a few buildings. The Aetheryte is up on a bridge over the majority of the settlement. There's trebuchets, things like that on the battlements. Most of them here are aimed to the northeast. I believe there's a few on the western side. No, there's not. Not really.
Before.
Feel like what?
I feel like we've been here before.
You haven't.
No, this one's new.
So I'm having a lot of Rocky deja vu then.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of Coerthas directly looks the same because of all the snow.
Yeah, that's true. And as large as the zone is, it used to be even bigger.
I would not mind a return.
Huh?
I would not mind a return to a bigger area. I would love to have seen green Coerthas.
Yeah, but it's just green and empty. But anyway.
Anyway, attuned to Aetheryte as soon as we get there.
Yep, I will mark it as attuned. And do I have these characters? Gothic architecture and snow. That's it. That's the zone. Yeah, you're not wrong, Katie. Okay. I do have it. Okay. So are you guys, what are you doing after you attune to the Aetheryte?
I find somebody there who has experience with these dragons.
That is literally every single person.
I find the chief in command.
Okay. Yeah, Ishgardian life is defined, literally defined by their war with the dragons. All right, so
I follow quota and try to keep out of character stuff from being in character.
So, yeah, quota, as you ask for the who's in command here, they point you towards this towards this larger building right here, with the Ishgardian flags on the side and so on. Let's see. So as you step inside, it's nice and warm, and you are. Gotta head to bed. Watch the rest later. All right. Have a good night, Legendary. And it's nice and warm, and you are greeted by the sight of this man sitting at the desk. He looks up and greets you with a warm smile and, new visitors in the area. How are you?
Would I know who this man is?
No.
Okay.
Not even not there's not a roll that would give that to you.
I guess I do the name normal. I walk straight up to him, my hand out, and go, "Hi, I'm Quota."
He grins. He goes, "I like your straightforwardness." Stands up, puts his hand out. There we go. Drunken camera. I'm Archibald Greystone of House. I forget what house he was.
Greystone House.
Fortom, of course. Of House Fortom.
Honest to heaven.
For some reason, I was thinking Durandare for some reason, or even Halenart. Anyway. I don't know why.
I'm gently teasing you.
Yes, I know.
Also, you're welcome for not squeeing way too early.
Anyway, so he goes, "Yes, you're a rather straightforward gentleman, aren't you?" And he turns and looks at you, Seji, and he says, "And who might this fantastic young lady be?"
Seji. Most people call me Sage.
Seji. Understood. Sage. Very well. What can I do for you all this fine, unseasonably warm day?
She glances
I like your
outside of the blizzard.
Say
and then
what?
looks back at him.
What did you say? Two of you at once.
You
Plus-
first wanna-
Plus, I was reading Katie's comment.
I said I like your sense of humor.
Seji glances back toward the door for a moment before looking back at him and raises an eyebrow.
He looks at Quota and grins. He looks at you and kind of feigns shock, Seji, and he goes, "What? It is warm if you grow up here." Oh, well, actually, no. I can't really say that because it wasn't like that until 5 years ago. He goes, "Well, you get used to it. Sort of." In any case, it is actually warmer than it has been.
Well, I mean, from the nice little walk we just had, yeah, it is.
We are looking to go into Stone Vigil.
He tilts his head. He goes, "Why?"
Because it sounds like fun.
I promise you it's warmer here.
Something rather important was lost, either on or just within its western walls.
Ah.
About 5 years ago.
Well, of course. Everything happened 5 years ago, didn't it? We're just cleaning up the pieces now.
Of course.
Well,
You're hoping to pick up the rather big pieces.
rather big pieces. That was about to be my next question. If we were looking for a trinket or... who knows what the dragons might have done.
Well, I don't think they'd have much use for what we're looking for. They can already fly.
You're looking for wings?
An airship.
Ah.
An airship specifically.
I'm looking for wings.
I wasn't far off. Well, you look capable at least.
Any advice for how to deal with what we may find there?
Carefully.
I mean, beyond the obvious, it's...
He said, I'm thinking. Just be cautious and go over the information from the scouts at White Brim. they should be able to tell you where the dragons nest, and if by any chance your airship has been sighted, which, considering the size of such a thing, you may hold out hope for such, then they may be able to tell you a way in that would get you relatively close without aggroing, because that's an in-universe word, without attracting the attention of too many dragons unnecessarily. We're looking for something that was wrecked 5 years ago. Archibald gestures around at all of the things.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you crap for aggro.
I turned to both Sage and Tatiana. I said, "Told you it was nesting."
I guess that much, but I
Same.
think at this point we just need to schedule for it.
But smiles as she sighs.
And Tatiana, say that again.
I figured as much. Check. I was hoping for a little bit more.
A little bit more than that. He says, I'm sure the people at White Brim can give you more specific information than I can. Most of our resources here are spent dealing with troubles at the Steel Vigil and Natalan to the east. He says if you needed to know the movements of Ixal within Natalan, that I could help you with. Do you also have an optimum path through the Vigil that one could follow to minimize trash encounters while speedrunning it?
That's awful. Love you to death, Kate. I am now dead. Thank you.
Anyway.
You mentioned Ixal?
Indeed.
Have they been active lately? More so than usual?
Yes, they have. On account of them recently managing to summon Garuda, I would assume.
We'd heard they were trying to crap.
Unfortunately, the rumors are true.
So he looks at the others. Well, that makes this all the more important then.
If we were to successfully salvage the airship, would you guys be willing to offer supplies to help repair it quickly?
He, at this, he kind of... I certainly would, yes. However, that may not be my call to make. He said, and my peers tend to be rather standoffish towards outside aid. They tend to be rather, shall we say, suspicious of everyone. There are many heretics about. And we are stretched thin as it is. However, if you were to manage to clear out a portion of the Stone Vigil such that retaking it might be a realistic possibility, I'm certain they would commit some amount of resources toward that.
We're likely to have to do that on our way in anyway.
Now, don't be so pessimistic. It's quite possible that you may be able to get in there and find your ship and get out without a single dragon ever catching sight of you, depending on where it landed. And its accessibility, of course.
I mean, that almost sounds like our odds of not getting snowed on while we're here for more than a day.
I try to keep a positive mind.
That's fair, and often a good way to live.
It's a fantastic way to live.
I'm assuming a portable hull won't be big enough for an airship.
Sorry. Portable hole is what, 2 feet?
6 feet in diameter, 10 feet deep.
No. It's
Yeah,
not
no.
on that size.
Let's see here. There's an airship with one person on it. Actually, that one person happens to be Rowena in this case, but that's about the size you're looking at. Well, we're Rowena plus the pilot. But yeah, that should give you an idea of the size.
But I'm just putting into perspective now, we're definitely not going to be able to sneak.
Definitely not.
300 pounds. Maybe.
Say that again, sorry.
Like, we're not going to be able to sneak it out. For sure. So.
Oh right, getting to it is one thing, getting it out quite another, wouldn't it be? Well.
What if we get a really big bag of holding?
The amount of money you would have to pay for a bag of holding that big, you might as well just buy the Ishgardian army.
I heard they go for cheap anyways. Kidding.
Was that in character?
That was out of character.
Okay.
I'm not stupid enough to leave it in character for you to smack me with your book of spiders.
Oh my god.
What?
You were right. You remembered it.
I told you.
I remember anything, it's the book of fucking spiders.
That's Seji and I were discussing that a week or two ago. She was like, do you think he'll actually remember the book? I said, if there's anything he remembers, he will remember the book. He may not remember like all the plot stuff necessarily, but he'll remember the book. He's terrified of Sage. He will remember that. Will he remember to be terrified of Sage? Yes.
Not will he remember to be terrified of Sage, it's would he remember thunk and then crumble.
Yes.
I remember everything.
Just like we remember Midori destroying Ifrit.
Midori is the true warrior of light.
He is.
Let's have a summon battle. I'll summon my legendary versus your starter. 1v1 me, bro. No.
The convocation. I can say this. I can say this even though it's a spoiler because none of our newbies will recognize any of these words, registering it enough to be a spoiler. The convocation of 14 is actually 13 Amaratines and a carbuncle.
Yes.
Anyway. So, Lord Archfont says, all right, so if there's anything else that you need, feel free to let me know.
Thank you.
Especially especially if you have need of warmth. We certainly treasure that around here. We'll be happy to share.
Thank you, and thank you for your time.
Anytime. I hope your journey goes splendidly.
Hey man, you just need to chill on that splendid talk you got there.
Nonsense, there's enough chill already.
Man, you're just being ice cold about that.
It's nice to meet someone with a warm personality.
Likewise.
How ice of you to notice. That face. I think that's empty now.
Get out. So anyway.
To White Brim.
To White Brim? Is everyone else in agreement?
No. Yes, yes. I'm yelling at my dog right now. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, yes.
Stop. Those are my toes you're licking, ass monkey.
You guys, I was leaving out some of his other comments that I wasn't sure would be entirely appropriate for him to... Well, no, they were not appropriate. They definitely were not, but yeah. Let's see. So... go ahead and switch this over. As you guys head west out of Camp Dragon Head, I'm going to point out a couple of things about the terrain here. Don't forget to smile. No, that's not quite what I had in mind, Katie. I'm going to point out a couple things about the terrain. This is a very large rocky ridge that is blocking the view of what's beyond. So as you guys come out this way and kind of around that ridge so it's no longer blocking your line of sight. Quota, this is probably not the first time that you have seen this city. Maybe not the first time for Seji. It is very likely the first time that Tatiana has seen it. But that is Ishgard.
Oh, hey, did it get shinier?
There we go.
Oh.
Ishgard concept art. Ishgard. So what you're seeing there, this giant bridge, which is actually like in 3 massive phases. The beginning of that bridge is like right here. So the gates starting from about here are shut. And there's guards everywhere and stuff, but yeah. So it's
one of those where I can't just walk up like, yo, I want to see the castle.
Yeah, no, it is a massive, massive city. And oh, I didn't even think of that, Katie. It is gigantic. And this perspective that you have right here is about all that you'll be able to see of the city for the foreseeable future.
Touch of context. You see how skinny that long bridge looks?
Yeah. Yes.
Brad, would you say about a football field wide?
Yeah, that's probably about right.
You said wide?
Wide.
Yeah.
Oh. That browser history.
Shut up, Quota. So this screenshot is taken on that bridge. Maybe half a football field wide. Still, it's
Either way.
It's very, very big. So that then should give you some perspective on that. It is monstrous. So like even zooming in really close to where it actually crosses into the city, and actually the last of these little towers and stuff is right here, and those even are probably a good 3 or 4 stories tall. Yeah.
It would suck to lead a dragon army there, huh?
It would. Anyway. So, you guys pass by this place, or I mean, you can feel free to approach the gates if you like, or move on towards White Brim Front.
I would move on towards White Brim. That is a heck of a view, though.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon, that was a yawn. Sorry.
Totally understand. Actually, I want to look for something here. Nope. Oh well. I knew of a clip that's on YouTube somewhere, but I think it's unlisted. But it showed Ishgard in the distance during 1.0, before Coerthas was all snowy and stuff. But yeah. All right, so heading on towards White Brim Front?
Yes.
Okay. And that brings us... I didn't pull up an image of White Brim Front, did I? Oh, that's right. I tried to, and I couldn't find a decent one.
I'll get you one in a minute. I got dragged into something.
Okay. All right, but you come into White Brim Front, and other than there's no Aetherite, and all of the defenses and everything are pointing northwest instead of northeast, it looks very similar to Camp Dragonhead. There's a few merchants about, but that's about it. It's mostly a training camp. So you see a lot of soldiers out doing drills and things like that. You see a few soldiers on the battlements with binoculars, looking towards Stone Vigil, and so on. So what would you guys like to do?
Let's find that scout.
Find a scout?
So I'm heading to the chain of command.
Okay. I will make note of that intention, but this is probably a good time to go ahead and call it, because I don't have anything else that I can bullshit my way through.
It's late either way.
Say what?
It's late either way.
It's
Yeah.
10 either way.
Yeah, this is our normal stopping time. Remember when we used to be like, oh, hey, it's 10, we should go ahead and stop, and then we would keep going for like 30, 45 more minutes?
No.
But
Yeah, but the world the way it is, we all need the break.
yeah. So, I'll make note of that, and I will have more prepped next time.
Next time on Ran VR.
Ran, not VR. As Tails has said before, Ran PC.
Ran D&D.
And once again, very happy birthday to you, Tails, if you are still there watching. So, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been a good one for you. And guys, thank you so much for your patience with us tonight as we have dealt with our technical issues trying to figure things out in getting this going. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate that.
She's torturing me in DMs.
Torturing you?
Don't forget to smile.
I'm going to be honest.
Forget to
I
smile.
don't remember him saying that.
No, but it's a reference to Hero.
Another line. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. I'm glad to be back. I was honestly really, really nervous about tonight because I hadn't done much prep and all that stuff, and any prep really. So, it's just one of those things you just have to dive in and see how it goes and see where you need to focus some extra effort. So now that we have a better idea of that, there you go. Call it here soon to be. Oh, I just now saw your DM. I was thinking the same thing. All right. Let's find someone to raid. Let's see here. It's first time raiding somebody. BlackRock doesn't really stream anymore, man. So channels that I follow that are live now, we've got Curry Games playing Fall Guys, and we've got Pastor Brock playing Terraria. Pastor Brock. I guess I'll go ahead and raid Brock. He has 1 viewer, Curry has 20. So let's get that going, show him some love. He's a good man. He's a VR chat friend. And so, yeah, we will see you guys for our next episode in 2 weeks. And so, yeah, 2 weeks from now, Stone Vigil, and then it's onward to Garuda. Once again, you guys will be level 5 once you defeat Garuda. So,
yes, let's go kill
all
that
right.
winged bitch.
This is a heck of a ride, and I guess I'll believe the 1-year timeline for the game.
Say what now?
I guess I'll believe the 1-year timeline for the game at this rate.
Yeah, really. All right. You guys have a great night. Starting the raid right now, and we will see you next time. I'll be streaming this weekend too, some Flight Simulator. So take care.
Night.
And we're out. I need to
Yep.
AFK.
Okay.